Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. It is May 28th, 2026, and I got a few messages for you. So, something is scandalous, shockingly offensive, disgraceful, or injurious to someone's reputation. These nasty jacks have been slandering their reputation of high-value individuals for a very long time. These guys are talking about doing something called a bedroom strike. Or they're talking about people doing a bedroom strike, which is generally refers to the withholding of sexual intimacy as a form of leverage. These nasty asses have been using the sexual energy of their encounters to harvest and gather and do their magic. So they've been really effing up people by violating the sanctity of their energy. And it seems that there is a bedroom strike happening. It appears that there could be a clearing up of the sexual energetic connections to identify the energy harvester from the energy producer. One of them said, "We're going to get in trouble for this." They broke the rules. They say they have to do something. They're talking about transportation. These guys are saying something about Nazareth. These fellows are saying something about their donations. He's saying something about his condolences. Some other masculine said, "Her previous incarnation, and another one said, "She's not like that anymore." So these nasties are saying that she advertises herself. Dudes, we have the right to live life and speak authentically and transparently. And simply being alive, having a heartbeat, and engaging with the world is not an advertisement of self. It's an engagement with life. Now, there's pirates out there who punish people for engaging with life because they worship death. But whatever, all right? So anyway, they're saying that she advertises herself. The mother called them gluttonous cowards. These ones in the shadow drink from the cup of others, unknown and unseen. They astrally, RAPE people, and siphon their sacred essence without permission. And then they play in that energy and do baneful magic with it, and then lay the blame and the shame of it on the person that they harvested. The games that they have been playing with the souls and the lives of people are terrible. It's heinous. Earlier, not only did I hear that the curse had been broken, but that the captives had been set free. I saw a very tall, lanky, dark-skinned man with light white paint. So he was obviously a tribal man. I couldn't see his face, so he just kind of stepped in a little bit, took a look, and then there was a very old woman also that came on later. She was obviously a very old crone. old, wise, powerful woman. So these ancestors and tribal people who these others here who thought that they were the supreme being had tried to eliminate have been set free. And they are here with their close connection to source, doing what they do, you know, as part of life of the planet. So captives have been set free. These nasty jacks have been rolling around in the unseen, and they're asking each other excitedly if she is a masturbator. They've been going out there trying to trigger energies or inclinations for masturbation in people so that they can fake an intimate encounter, cast the illusion of it, and collect the person's soul value. In my case, in the astral, there was a fella in the astral who had called me to him, and there was a priest whose face I couldn't see, but he was standing before me, and he was trying to get me to masturbate. And I was like, no, I don't want to. And then he pulled my hands. It was like he's this mental mind control. So he tried to force me to do it. And my mind, I'm like, no, I don't want to. So my mind was too powerful for his mind control. And I refused to masturbate in front of these two men so that they could say that I had consummated some stupid marriage contract. They were quite upset by it. And I have witnesses there. And so all that shit, there was no new contract with Nasty Jack. And he ain't getting one. He's real upset. So is his little woman there. And the priest who's been filing false marriage certificates in that space. With a 3D vessel in their bed, sleeping, having a dream. And those people over there doing that kind of shit. Writing up false marriage contracts for which they would never, ever, ever show up. They just wanted the soul value of a beautiful, pure, innocent one. So they're excitedly asking if she is a masturbator because they can go in there and then get you to orgasm and collect that energy and then tie it to their own masturbation or whatever the hell they do and pretend that you guys actually did it and then say, oh, we got a relationship, right? This is how they earn their living. This is the work they do in the world. They are non-producers, and yet they want to command everybody. People do not know that they're handing over their spiritual identity and their soul value by giving in to the inclination of masturbating to an unseen exciter or a dream lover. Their people may be masturbating. Perhaps they are losing everything that they have gained by sexual harvest. They care, man, somebody said. The male and the female that are in charge here care about the people. And these nasties want them destroyed. They want them gone. They want their wealth and their status and their authority, their identity, their soul value. These are religious people. And the youngers that are under their guidance are like, hey, they care, man. It's like that it's like the woman is, what is it? Advocating for the innocent ones. Those whose soul value had been zeroed out by these nasty freaking harvesters, man. She's like giving back their value, you know, restoring their hope in life. These people are sick. Yeah. They really care. These people that are over there care about the community. They want them to be healthy in the temple, and they want them to have a stable home foundation so that they can focus on the messaging that Source is giving them and create their soul song in the world, manifest it. This is wild that these nasty pimps who've been prostituting every freaking body, using their religion as a freaking, what do they call that? A front for pedophilia and shit like that. Soul harvesting stuff. It's wild to me. And they're up there, like they're talking, like they're standing on my roof, my ceiling, like they live just an octave above me. And it's like, why are these nasties up there? I'll tell you why, because they've been harvesting soul value off of purity and then stealing the identity and then moving on up. The upper dimensional beings care about the defilement done toward those beings, these nasties considered less than them. These ones considered every other life form on the planet beneath them. They had no concerns for the suffering that they were putting upon them. They looked at them like animals, we people of the flesh. Somebody in the universe cares about that. The curator and 3 of his buddies are talking still about gaining this woman as a sacrifice. They're telling each other that she has a priest. Some time ago, they said that his father taught him everything. So he's a very high priest, the master. The curator insists that she needs medicine, therefore he has the rights to harvest the soul, her gifts, powers, and authorities. He wants to wear her identity. The curator's still talking to someone, saying it has to be a relationship in order to perform proper extraction. God, these guys are nasty. And the song, got a relationship, wanna hold her head underwater. You know, I didn't even know that it said got a relationship, wanna hold her head underwater until just the other day. And I'm like, shit, this is a confession, man. From a dude that's going out, getting a relationship and then harvesting. You've got a troll wanting to harvest your pot of gold at the end of your rainbow. So watch out for that. They want to extract your rainbow covenant and wealth. Apparently they got to plug in with their charging unit and, you know, extract it. There's something about a week and a half, and that could be around the 7th of June. They're all saying she needs her medicine. Now, the medicine apparently monitors the vitals and the electrical conductivity of the body, the temple, housing spirit and soul. I'm thinking that this smart dust, whatever this is, this programmable nano dust that is in the medicine and in the air and everywhere else, they use it to drive thought forms through the mind. They use it to cause heart palpitations. They use it to try to cause aneurysms. They use it in their magic. They program the little nano dust, whatever the hell, and then they go to work inside the body. Very nano particulates and undetectable. So the other day, there was something about 8 days, which would be May 30th or 31st. Somebody mentioned that that was the blue moon. And yeah. 8 days would it be May 30th or 31st? And then just now they mentioned a week and a half, which would be around June 7th. The curator is telling somebody that before there was an intercessor, somebody who pleads the case of another, who stands in the gap, bridges to heaven. Jacob's ladder. They cannot use people like that anymore. So with the sacrifice, what they were doing is they were using your spine and your mind to climb the ladder up and down into the upper dimensional space that your spirit lives in. They were hijacking your spiritual identity and going up there, these low-level devils, and they were presenting as you, shape-shifting and stuff, messing with people, hurting them, destroying their property, harming their animals. So this is what the sacrifice is, the fake contracts through masturbation and dream lovers, these fake marriage contracts that led to them stealing your spiritual identity, shattering the heart chakra, stealing the covenant, stepping in, hiring a third party, whatever, to step in as your identity. And then they just spend all their time defiling you and pulling your energy so that they can hijack your ladder and go up and down. Man, they nearly destroyed mine, rat bastards. The divine came just in time. There's something about a wormhole. Now, I don't know what that's all about. I know that I got put through one a while back. Wound up on a spire in China or something. So, yeah, they're talking about a wormhole. Someone is saying, what we can do is arrest her. And then, da-da-da-da-da-da. So these guys, you know, they own the jails and all of that stuff. And they work it to harvest. They arrest, they take, they kidnap, they do whatever. We got freedom of speech here, but once you know what they're doing... And then I got some of them are saying to be careful, you know, about talking about this. But it's like, you know, because you got the military and they got threats. They're worried about their stuff being heard and talked about, you know, because some people here, they worship war and death and all of that. And when we're trying to figure out what's going on and we're trying to alert whoever about whatever, then, you know, they don't like that. So they want to arrest somebody and then do something to her in the jail or whatever. They're looking to mess up a woman who has a guaranteed exit, an ascension. They want to get her 3D vessel and they want to do foul things. They lost their golden ticket. They lost their dream come true when they lost her. They're not supposed to be touching her in any way, shape, or form. She was innocent thousands of years ago when they deceitfully convicted her and then defiled her, violated her in such a heinous way. They've been torturing her to death in very, very many, very, very painful, long, you know, they know how to make it last a long time before you die. So anyway, she was innocent and they've been torturing her lifetime after lifetime for like 4,000 to 6,000 years anyway. Something is throttled, which is restricted. The curator is telling his guides that the people are saying this is a healthy transformation and they want it. No one wants to go and attack mother figures anymore for these nasty pimps. Nobody wants to lay down and do sex magic with them. There is an entity talking to the curator about military. Number 2111, which is a fresh start, a second chance, a new connection may be on the horizon. Number 0008, infinite potential, new cycles, and spiritual growth. Your life's circumstances are about to change for the better. Something about governments holding you down. They do take a grand portion of your paycheck. They do take a grand portion of your time. most of us spend more time at work than we do at home with our families in the awake mode. We don't have the finances or the time to go do anything that we might want to creatively. They've limited our potential. They've limited our freedom of speech in that they cause fear. People who speak or who, what do they call that? What do they call that when they whistleblow? When they whistleblow, you know, people who whistleblow, they tend to wind up in a bad circumstance. And, you know, Spirit's kind of warning about that. But at the same time, you know, this is a great opportunity for God to show everybody his might and keep me alive and happy. I'm just going to go ahead and consider that a fact. So, something about governments holding you down. And these ones are saying that a woman is defenseless. I don't know what that means. A masculine is warning someone to be careful of what they are doing. They are exposing themselves. There's something about a prophecy. These guys are talking about transfer again, and they are talking about vampirism. These guys are worried. They say if she recognizes anybody, so they are desperate for a loophole. They're looking for loopholes. This woman is coming home. They banished her from this place thousands of years ago. They convicted her deceitfully of a crime she did not do. She was innocent. They brutalized her and banished her, stripped her of all of her authority, her identity. And they've been torturing her for thousands of years. They're worried that she's going to recognize the ones who deceitfully convicted her and those ones who have stolen from her, because she goes up, she gets the opportunity to rise because she graduates every time. And when she gets up there, she gets married, and then after a year, they sacrifice her and send her back down. There's a parasite up there. They like to call themselves a Satan. They like to call themselves religious nuts. They call her sacrilegious. She won't bow to them. But they need her energy and they need her wealth. She has been emancipated from any contract that she had with them. She has been wed into another tribe. She's coming home because the land is hers. It was always hers. The authority for this space was always hers. So they're desperate for a loophole, any kind of excuse to keep her out. They've been trying to red rum her, but God's been keeping her alive, as well as her helper, her protector, and her family. They're scrambling. They want to get a hold of the 3D vessel. They're not having any luck with the spirit. They're calling somebody defenseless. I do not know how these pimp RAPs can be a level above the divine feminine and keep prostituting the energy of us. And then casting the illusion that, well, it's because we're here and they've separated us from our spiritual identity. They've kind of tucked us away while their devil in an angel's robe is up there in our identity, living our life. That's why. So you got the religious fraudulent priest or whatever the hell that sacrifices people up in these upper domains and down to this lower level where they siphon and prostitute and harvest and do all that stuff. They consider you an animal. They're concerned because she knows who they are. And if she recognizes them, they have said that she hesitated, but she signed it. So it could be that she's not recognizing them, that they're actually slipping through the cracks. This is the second time that they have said that she hesitated, but she signed it. Whoever this woman is has them real upset. Every time she comes back, they get her aside, torture her, and then replace her with a copycat. They've been saying that whatever contract she's in is not a real contract, that they're going to let her get established and do the healing work, and then they're going to flip and copycat her. I've heard a woman say that. And I've heard of these men say other things. It just doesn't make sense to me that those who do not have happiness or joy in their heart, who really look down their nose at others and judge them so freaking harshly, that they have earned this upper status. It's all a grand illusion, born on the harvested energy of we who are divine trapped here in this space. They've been doing magic. But there's a bedroom strike, so they're not able to harvest this divine energy, and they're not able to do the magic. So everything's falling apart. There's something about a misfire. These guys are talking about relationship still. And there's something about today, something about 12:30. The message came through at 12:36 a.m., May 28th. So, I don't know. It could have been at 12:30 afternoon. It could be at 12. Well, that would be 12:30 tomorrow. So, I don't know. Something about today. Either 12:30 a.m. or 12:30 p.m. The Secretary of Defense is calling somebody a security threat or talking about a security threat. There was a misfire. I don't know if they're did their programmable missiles get hijacked or something. They got a security threat. There was a misfire. Something happened. Somebody dismantled their weaponry. I don't know. There's something about a threshold. Don't know what that means. Or for what it means for whatever the topic is. Someone said, they're together again. So the Queen of Heaven and whoever it is that they were trying to keep her away from are together again. And their power is accomplishing some significant changes. I had a vision. There was a person with covered in white ash. Somebody was talking of a victory. I don't know if I said this later in the notes here, but there was a vision of a dark-skinned man, tall, lanky. Couldn't see his face. He was kind of just looking at him, but he had white paint on him. But this was a different one. So this is a different one. So there was a person covered in white ash. These are the original people who have been freed of the curse. The captives have been liberated. So we've got a person covered in white ash, and there's a victory. The Curator says Divine Feminine provides energy, and the Curator wants it. They want to take it. So it's like this Divine Feminines, there's many of you. It's like in the spirit, you are energizing people who had been drained. It's like some of the people in some of these dimensional spaces or realms, their soul value had been zeroed out, and they kind of got held in a pin or whatever. But it's like that's being undone, and they're being energized, and it looks to be like they're being enfolded into this new family, or at least they are working together as a unit, as a unified unit. Curator's interdimensional guide is talking about exposure. And somebody said, do we have the rights to do that? They want to sabotage this woman. They want to send in the military. Somebody's talking to the curator saying she doesn't have a clue what's going to happen to her. I don't know who he's talking about, but they intend on torturing a woman again. These guys are crazy, man. It looked like somebody grabbed a clipboard, held it up, and asked, can I have this? So yes, I'm exposing myself. These are the visions. This is what's happening. We are living in a multi-dimensional reality. Our spirit travels between the realms when we sleep or meditate purposefully, perhaps. So these ones are upset because there's a female encouraging others to stand on their own, to connect with Source and just be there, rather than gang up in a group and attack people. These people are craving your energy. They are addicted to it. These guys are saying there should be something inside of the soil. So they are sabotaging the soil, or somebody needs to put something into the soil to heal it, or there's something missing from the soil. I'm not sure what that's all about. There should be something inside the soil, and I don't know if they're talking about worms or microbes or nitrogen or what. Right now it's probably full of whatever it is they've been seeding the clouds with and spraying in the atmosphere. The curator and their friends are talking about practitioners. The curator is talking about responsibility. He says a woman advertises herself. He says he has the right to force her to serve him. It's like the Queen of Heaven has married into the tribe of the jaguar, which I believe it is the Egyptians. And she's transferring all of the wealth to her new family. It's her wealth. It's her God-given inheritance. The old ones of the canceled or voided out or nullified contract because they abandoned her centuries ago while violating her and everybody else. The old ones from that old contract still try to plot her ensnarement and demise, her continued suffering. They want to force her. They want to kidnap her. They want to force her, get her another prisoner of war and kidnap her and force her to serve them. It's what they did last time. They deceitfully convicted her of a crime she did not do. They generated some kind of video evidence or whatever they did. And it seemed real, I guess. There was an argument, I believe, that they were going to prostitute everybody. And they found her guilty anyway and banished her. So she's been down here getting prostituted right along with every freaking buddy else in this freaking PDF freaking realm. The nasties who tried to keep her in a hellhole are trying desperately to retain and control her wealth again. All that she is part of this new tribe, this new family. All of the energy, all of the wealth, all of the material wealth, all of the land, everything is being transferred to the new covenant or the new contract. She's the daughter of a high dimensional God, king, emperor, whatever you want to She's in the land of soprano, very, very high dimensional. So now she's wed into this new tribe, the tribe of Jaguar, could be Egyptians, and all of the wealth is being transferred to this new tribe. The nasty jacks who had been using her are desperate to get her back. God said, that's enough. He took her away from them. They were RAPing everyone, pimping them out for profit. That was their business, man. Universal business. Bro-hos, whatever. Yeah, I'm a successful man. One of these nasties is telling another that she has no idea how strong she is, and another one is asking if she's psychic. They think they know who she is in the 3D. They've been talking about the military and security threats. These ones are making war with her new tribe. They want all those resources back. They are talking about Disciple, how she was innocent. She was one of the Disciples, man, and they destroyed her because they didn't like her perception, her ethics, her morality, her integrity, her love for family, her loyalty for her mate. So they created an illusion that she went out and had some kind of a sexual scandal, got banished. These guys tortured and banished the female Disciple. She was innocent. They've been sacrificing her as their intercessor for centuries. They covered her in the blame and the shame of their heinous crimes and filthy lifestyle. She was the source of their life of luxury, and God has reclaimed her, canceled that contract with that tribe, and that betrayed her and everybody. She has a new family now. They're much more skilled and capable than these others. Especially now that these others don't have access to her energy. These ones accused the Disciple of being a whore. They did baneful sex magic on her from afar, created digital porn movies. Her beloved partner wasn't so beloved, and it seems that maybe he got really mad, banished her, and then pimped out her womb for centuries. She wasn't guilty. These nasty jacks kept from afar, laying, like jerking off and laying that shit into her womb, like having orgies, collecting the energy, having orgies, and then coming back and laying that shit into her womb. Everybody who saw her as that, and nobody ever wanted to come near her. They were broadcasting digital pornography of her throughout the cosmos, and she's been alone for centuries. They synthesized her, they cloned her, and then they've been doing all this baneful stuff for a long, long time. And whoever was her person, I guess, believed it. She had been faithful. She had loved him. She was innocent. She was always royal and loyal. She has a new family now. These low-level liars want her back. There's a talk of a space woman. These ones are arguing that this woman is dangerous. Another one is arguing back, saying, she's telling it like it is. You're telling the truth. You're not lying. Nasty Jack has been through. Nasty Jack has been, though, and doesn't want to be exposed. So they're calling you a space woman. And you're telling everybody what has been going on here. You're telling the truth. From thousands of years of personal, firsthand, torturous experience. You got soul record of it and everything. Pictures. Peeping Toms, voyeurs, and destroyers of people that they feel don't have the right to exist. These are the assassins of the shadows. They astral project into people's homes and they say, well, I don't think you should live or whatever. And then they just take you out. Or if they want your identity or your energy or whatever they do, I don't know, man. But apparently these are premeditated red runners of the shadow for profit. They are embarrassed over this woman, this space woman, apparently, speaking truth regarding their sneaky lies and their deceitful ways, what they've been doing to the children and the poor animals with their sexual deviancy. I just don't understand how they could be in charge of anything, man. I just don't get it. I don't get it. So they're embarrassed. They're exposed. They are talking about rehabilitation. The curator says she's rehabilitating everybody. So rehabilitating. She's a healer. She's a star. She's a high priestess. Obviously, she's a daughter of a lion. She could be. Universal gatekeeper, queen of heaven, big kahuna. She's got big energy and she's rehabilitating people and their soul, their energy, their vital force, their minds, healing them, making them whole. These nasties are so upset because they broke everybody on purpose. They needed that suffering energy and they're upset. Yep, because she's healing everyone from the damages that they have done. A younger masculine is saying something is shameful. Yes, what they have done here is shameful, heinous. Somebody said something about microwaving her. Something is by invitation only. There's a bunch of masculines that don't have collateral or something. They owe her a debt. They are saying she has silver, and another said she has silver and gold. So they're talking about a territory or somebody being territorial, her territory. And somebody is telling the curator, my condolences. Apparently she's satisfied. She's passed all of the tests. She is who she says she is. She's identifiable. These guys stripped her of her authority thousands of years ago by deceitfully convicting her of some heinous, freaking immoral act. Stripped her of her authority, stripped her of her identity, stripped her of everything, and spent thousands of years of short lifespans of sexually torturing her and other ways. They burned her alive many times. They roasted her in the bull at least once. They crucified her just like Christ on the cross. And then with a crapload of gang RAP, they love to destroy people with that thing, you know? She has her own resources. The territory has its own resources. It has its own silver. It has its own gold. She's got her own coin. She does not have to do any trade with anybody. The people that are outside need to stay outside because this is very, very serious. Protecting the souls, the inner sun in the temple housing spirit and soul of upper dimensional star nation soul tribe children. Here for an experience is crucial. Absolutely top of the freaking priority list. No snakes in the grass. And apparently there's going to be hunting parties. Sacagawea is there. All the curses on the original people are over. They're going to be monitoring to make sure no wild boy sneaks in and tries to convince somebody's son, do mental magic on them, and try to convince them that they need to take out their mother who can supply them with whatever they need. It's been happening. Corn woman, bad juju boy. So the curator lost his home there. He's no longer in control of the earth angels' merchandise, their spirit or their soul value. He's no longer in control of their advancement, their initiation rewards. He's no longer in control of their mind or their energetic resources, or whether or not they've been feeding. So they've been taking like 50% of the, harvesting it right out of the body. People don't know. They got technology patented to do this. Harvest out of the thin air. Well, they're harvesting our toroidal field 6 feet. They're taking our energetic from our toroidal field. So that's what they were doing. And that's over now. This is the end of their relationship with batteries. They're no longer going to be harvesting our electricity. She's passed all the tests. She has been welcomed back in. These ones are worried about her recognizing them. This woman has a holy mission. And thousands of years ago, these men deceitfully convicted her of a crime, a deceitful, heinous, immoral act that she was innocent of. And as far as I know, it sounds like she didn't just get banished. She got beat to shit and real bad stuff, man. And she was innocent. These ones were trying to set her up in such a way this time again before she could step into her purpose this cycle. But she is with her person now, and she is in her holy mission. These nasties are looking for loopholes big time. They're worried about her recognizing them from all of the many times so that she made it up there, and then they unalived her again, unalived her again, unalived her, got contract, pretended to love her, and then unalived her again. They've been doing it for thousands of years. She goes up, and then she comes back. Somebody crashes her, they break her heart, and a copycat replacement steps in, and they have a great high life, while you and I and everybody else who they're siphoning from is here. So the nasties are talking about a woman's sensitivity, her psychic sensitivity. Will she know? They are warning each other to be careful of what they say to her. They complain of her attitude. And I find it quite funny that they complain of her attitude, but it is they who have to watch their nasty mouth. They say she doesn't know what happens to the magistrate. Well, what happens to the magistrate is they sacrifice her, they torture her, they do what they do. They try to destroy her. That's what they've been doing for centuries. Only this time, things may be a little different because the contract that they've had with her, that they've been sneaking and faking, is over. There's a new contract with a whole new tribe, and if these ones try to do anything with this magistrate, they'll have to answer to the ones who have enfolded her into the family. So these nasty ones have full intention of capturing her, torturing her, synthesizing her, cloning her again, and then replacing her with a devil clone with a perfect body. That's what they do, I think. But I don't know. Who knows? You know, they're obsessed with how their phallus responds to their visual cues or whatever. Anyhow, that's the message, everyone. See you on the next one.